Кому-то нужен перевод на русский?
Да, конечно.
Сколько человек? Поднимите руки. Раз. Так, давайте тогда, я там сяду на стул сзади, вот вокруг этого стула. Там Матаджи Лаура здесь сидит. Вот там вот. Соберитесь, пожалуйста. I will translate. Into Russian.
Russian?
Yeah.
Russians all over the place.
Yes.
Oh, Krishna. They speak English. That's not a problem.
Хорошо, надо под ноги что-то теплое.
So I can't tell any bad stories about Putin?
No, yeah.
How is it from the dynasty of Putana? Okay, how about Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Punjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Punjabi Hari Jaya Madhava Jaya Punjabi Hari Jaya
Мы можем пару минут поговорить про распевание, потом стоя киртан споем, и потом будет лекция.
So the idea of this chanting is that we purify the dirty things from our heart. Maybe people can come forward.
You want the best medicine?
Lalica?
You're welcome. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this chanting, okay, no chit-chatting. The chanting will take the dirty things out of our heart. First of all, we have to admit that we have dirty things in our heart, like lust and greed and anger. If we don't admit it, then we don't take the medicine. This is a medicine. It's a sweet medicine, but in the beginning it might be a little bitter. Like this one boy couldn't stand it, he had to leave. Right? It's too much for people, this kind of medicine. They just think, no, I'd rather be sick. Sometimes people think like that. But this is the medicine, the loud chanting of the holy name. And it mentions in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that the maniac don't like it. They'll go away, which is okay. It's rightly done. We don't force anybody. But this is the medicine. if we hear regularly these syllables, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare. Gradually, we'll lose our impurities. Impurities means lust, greed, anger. These things are troubling everybody in the material world due to false ego. Just like our children, they're not innocent. They're mischievous. They love themselves the most. You have to teach your son, don't hit your brother. Because the tendency is put me in front of the front. I'll punch you. You get in the back. I should be in the front. This is the material world. Everybody's thinking like that. And then the leaders also. The Trump is thinking like that. Make America great. Putin is saying, bring it back to the Russian Empire. Everybody wants to be number one. Therefore, there's always conflict. I once met the Gurukul boys in Vrindavan. And I asked them, so what do you study today? They said history. I said, oh, what did you learn in history? We learned that history is one war after another. This is history. This is humankind. It's not going to stop because everybody loves himself the most due to false ego. The only remedy is to give up false ego. So that's what the Buddhists and the others say. Yeah, become zero. But we say no, if there's a false ego, why not a real ego? So Krishna's telling us what our real identity is. And ego means identity. Yes, you're the servant of the servant of the servant of the gopis in Vrindavan. When Sanat Goswami came to Lord Chaitanya, he asked that question. Who am I? Why am I suffering? And Sanat Lord Chaitanya said, yes, you're the servant of the gopi, and you're suffering because you've forgotten that. Instead, we're serving our senses. Eat something nice. See something nice. Why is pornography the biggest attraction on the internet? Because men are lusty. They want to see very cheap, see a naked woman. So this is the material world. Don't think you're going to make utopian here. It's not going to be perfect. There's always going to be the struggle. But therefore, the overlying view should be we want to get out of this place. But in the meantime, we can try to make it better. When Ashram Dharma does that, they advise us that we should have systems of management and so on, so that everybody has their own occupation according to their nature, and they can be happy. But still it's temporary. From Lord Brahma to the lowest ant, we all have to change our body. And then what happens? That we don't know. But the Bhagavatam gives us, yes. According to higher authorities, you get another body. Two things. What you deserve and what you desire. They'll be factored in, then you'll get it the next, you go into the next room. It's not just by chance. So we should take advantage of this opportunity, human form of life. We can get out of this cycle of birth. The opportunity is there. The animals can't inquire, why do I die? They're animals, they don't have development. But human beings, at least most of us, we think sometimes, what is the meaning of life? What's happening here? What happens to me when I die? Who is God? These are the kind of questions that are only there in the human form of life. The horse won't ask those questions, or the dog. So we should use our human form of life, Atata Brahma Jigyasya, to inquire into the real meaning of life, not just remain complacent and feeling, oh, we're getting ahead. Now we have more money, now we have more. Where is it going? It runs through your finger. You can't hold it. Try holding it. You can't. Time factor is there. Everybody is being is subjected to the element of time. And Krishna says, I am time. So we want to use our time in a proper way, which is not possible here in this human form of life, by qualifying to enter into the spiritual world. In the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatpataha shaktareham panadana naitimam eti sojana. Janma karma. Krishna says, if you understand me, my birth, like Jamashtami, we celebrate, Janma karma. And my activities, lifting over downhill, left hand. Then, if we understand a little bit about Krishna, Krishna's Naitima Mekila, we don't have to come back to this place of death, of conflict, of misery. He's certified. Dukkalayam Shashvatam. Krishna certified. Dukkalayam. It's full of misery. And it's temporary. You may say, no, well, I'm not misery. I have a good job, a nice house with family. But misery will come. You can't avoid it. From other living entities, mosquito, you don't get many mosquitoes. Tell them this somewhere. Mosquitoes and wife is criticizing us and the dog is barking. This is from other living entities. Then we get from our own mind and body. Just like now, my throat was causing me trouble. So I had to stop. This is natural. The body causes trouble. The mind causes us trouble. From within. Even we have nothing to worry about, the mind will give us some anxiety. Then, miseries from the nature. Too cold, too hot, earthquake, tornado. We can't avoid the miseries, no matter how much we try. So Lord Chaitanya stresses to tolerate and go on with our service, and then we will qualify to enter the spiritual world. Krishna promises, Naitima Krishna. You don't come back to this place if we understand Krishna. So, this is Srila Prabhupada's mission, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He wants everybody to know Krishna. That's the solution. Who is Krishna? Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadya. This is Brahma Samhita, first verse. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Ishvara means the controller. Parama, the supreme controller. Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Sachitananda Vigraha. He has a spiritual body full of knowledge eternity. Sachitananda Vigraha. Anadi Adi. He's the first person. Adi. He's the original. Anadi Adi. Sarva Karna Karna. He's the cause of all causes. Everything there must be a cause. We see cause and effect. And the scientists also are stuck here. They have to admit cause and effect. So what they come up with is, what do they say? Black. What caused everything?
Big Bang.
Oh yeah, Big Bang. But they want to go back one step. But what caused the Big Bang? That they don't know. Who is this Hawking guy who's going to tell us when he died? What caused the Big Bang? They have no authority there. It just comes to their own speculation. I think, perhaps, maybe. They don't have any solid authority, but we have authority of the Shastra. Just like we want to know, who is our father? You have to ask the mother, she's the authority. She can tell you, yes, I took a seed from this man, and you grew in my womb, and if we accept our mother, then we know, okay, this man was your father. Otherwise, if we research, are you my father, are you my father? It's not the process. You're not going to get to the truth, because the truth happens to be a person, and he reveals himself, or not, according to his own sweet will. And if we have a little bit of envy of him, he's not going to reveal himself. Ishadvaita, that verse is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Ishadvaita Samutvena. That the living entity has come to the material world for two reasons. He wants to be the supreme, and he's envious that somebody else is the supreme. This is our disease. And it's starting, we can see it in our children. We're born with this false ego. I should be in the center. Why not me? And so, we remain here. But if by great good fortune we meet somebody like Srila Prabhupada, who tells us, no, this is not your real home. And he shows by his activity, Acharya means he's teaching by his example. We lived with Prabhupada, we saw. He was a pure devotee. He had no envy. He had no malice to anyone. He was everyone's well-wisher. He used to sign his letter. You're ever well-wisher. But it's very difficult to be a well-wisher of everyone because somebody hates us. It's like now, it can come to the point of atomic weapons, atomic war. If we're not careful, that may not what to do. This is human frailty. Everyone loves himself the most. Chinese love themselves the most. Indians love themselves the most. So there's bound to be conflict. Conflict of interest. So this is the negative side. The positive side is we met Prabhupada. And he was telling us we can make a society which is not based on this false ego, by putting Krishna in the center. And what's the best way to put Krishna in the center?
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Okay, let's stand up and do some more chanting. Maybe I should ask a question before. Any questions? Everybody agrees we're in an awkward position. That's the hardest thing. We think, oh, no, I'm okay. I'll give the example. The man is lying in the bed. The doctors say he's not going to live very long. He's getting fed intravenously. Somebody has to clean his behind. And you ask him, how are you? I'm okay. We're not okay. Once a theologian wrote a book like that. He said in the book, the name of the book was, I'm okay, you're okay. This is on a Los Angeles morning walk. And so there was a theologian there, one of the devotees, and he asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, this book is here, from a theologian, Mexican. He says, the book is titled, I'm okay, you're okay. Prabhupada said, no. I'm okay, you're not okay. Who's going to sing?
What about yourself?
I'll sing later. I'll butt in. I want to stand up.
Oh, okay.
So you sing. Go ahead. Sing. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare
Gaura Hari.
Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Iskon, Tadacharya, save the whole world, Sri Prabhupada ki. Jai Ram Vishnutat, Parameshwara, Asata Satashi, Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki. Guru Parampara ki. Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki. Premji Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shankara Radhika Nigiri Govardhan ki. Dam Dam ki. Dam ki. Jagannatha Puri ki. Shri Devi ki. Guru Akari ki. Gopimananda. Oh, glory to thee, son. Glory to thee, son.
Hare Krishna.
Glory to thee, son. Glory to Shri Guru.
ठीक है मम्मी जी आराम we do lampas, I do change the lamp lamp
Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagrada Gita Shri Vishaka Vitamsta Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Namastu Jagatpate Krishna Gopika Radha Kanchana Gosite Kanchana Rangi Radhe Krishna Vishwari Vishwavanu Suri Pranamami Hripriya Panchakalpatarugasya Krita Sindhu Naivasya Aditam Bhavanyo Vaishnavyo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasti Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we're reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 5 and 6. Krishna speaking to Arjuna. In text 5 he says, Shri Bhagavan Varacha Uni me yati tani janani Arjuna Tayam Virat Sarvani Natam Vedantapa. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna said, many births, both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. That's what you are doing. So here we see one of the main distinctions between the God and the living entity. The living entity in the material world, he forgets his previous birth. Sometimes a little remembrance comes, right? People come forward and say, oh, I was in this village in my last life. And they go and they find that it may be true that that's what they was in the last life. But they don't have it clear. But Krishna never forgets. He doesn't forget anything when he changes his body. Or he doesn't change his body. He remains in his spiritual body in all circumstances. So, the question is coming because Krishna said, I spoke to science, to the sun god in the previous verse, millions of years ago. So, but Arjuna was bewildered. How can we understand you spoke to the sun god? Because he was here before you were here. He was implied. Krishna is telling him, no, I'm eternal, I've always been there. And I've been there in the past, and I'm going to be in the future. Purport. In the Brahma Samhita 533, it is stated, Advaitam achyutam anadya anantarupam adyam adhyayam puram purusha navayovanam cha videsu dulabam adulava atma bhakto govindam adipadusham tamahan bhajami. I worship, this is Lord Brahma speaking. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, Krishna, who is the original person, absolute, infallible, without beginning. Although expanded into unlimited forms, he is still the same original, the always, and the person always appearing as a fresh youth. Such eternal, blissful, all-knowing forms of the Lord are unusual, are usually not understood by even the best Vedic scholars. But they are always manifested pure, unalloyed. So this is an important verse, which Prabhupada is quoting from the Bhagavad Gita. How Krishna is the original person, and he has unlimited forms, but still he has original form. What is the original form? He's playing the flute, Shyam Sundar. He's dancing with Radharani and the Gopis. This is his original two-arm form. You see in the Bhagavad Gita at the end of the Gita also. Arjuna is saying, not the end, the 11th chapter. Krishna is telling, he's showing the next form. And then Arjuna is getting bewildered by the universal form. Then Krishna shows the foreign form. And then Arjuna says, please show your original form. But then Krishna accepts the two-hand form. That's the original form that Krishna had. But he can go into any form. He's not limited like us. He can accept as he likes. This is the definition of God. The Supreme Being, no one is equal to or greater than him. If you look at the dictionary, you see the definition is there. So, Krishna is that Supreme Person. This is the verdict of Srimad Bhagavatam, the verdict of Bhagavad Gita, of the Samhita, of Upanishad. There's so many literatures there. And he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. People, especially Hindus, may not know about it, but 500 years ago, Krishna himself came in the mood of Radharani. Why in the mood of Radharani? Because he wanted to experience the ecstasy that she was feeling. He saw that this girl is so ecstatic and serving me. That I can't really experience that same. So he wanted to experience what Radharani was experiencing in her love for Krishna. So he came as Krishna, but in the mood of Radharani. Therefore he had the complexion of Radharani. We just observed his appearance that he was and he showed that he is the Supreme Person, but he's in a different mood. So we're worshiping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he's the one who introduced this chanting that we're just doing. This is a revolutionary process. You see, even in Chaitanya's time, the Hindus didn't like it, that he was converting them, and getting them to dance and chant like that. Because they lost control. You know, the caste Hindus, they had control. They thought they were the Brahmins, they were the teachers of everybody. They had to come to them to get known. But what Chaitanya was opening it to everybody. Like Haridas Thakur was a Muslim. What Chaitanya made him the Namacharya. He was always chanting. He was born in a Muslim family, but he took up the process of chanting Hare Krishna. And we don't consider we're Hindus. I don't consider myself a Hindu. Hindu is a word given by the Muslims or the Pakistanis, or people who lived on the other side of the Sindhu River. They call it Hindu. But Hinduism is Sanatana Dharma is the eternal religion of the living entity. It doesn't belong to one group of people. It's open for everybody. Prabhupada proved that by coming and making devotees from the Western. I'm born in a Lecture family. My mother and father, they were smoking, drinking, eating meat. So I don't claim to be so special, but because I heard nicely from my spiritual master, and I'm able to repeat. Everybody's listening. What? Because I'm repeating as it is, not my qualification, but I'm convinced that this is the truth, the absolute truth, and therefore I'm just representing it. This is what a representative is. He represents the message of the Lord. And then he becomes Guru. Guru is, you don't have to have 4 arms and stand on your head or something. No. You just have to be an honest representative, an honest via media for the Lord. So everyone, probably one of thousands of Gurus, you should all become Gurus. It's not difficult. Just represent what Krishna is saying. Then you also become Guru. But if the tendency is we want to add, put our own signature. Kirtan Swami. No, we just do everything including Prabhupada in the center. And Krishna, Prabhupada because he's a pure devotee. We give him the same much respect as we do Krishna because he's completely pure. He has no anarthas, no unwanted habits. Therefore, he, like Prabhupada said about Lord Jesus, he's not the only son. The Christians sometimes say the only son, right? He's not the only son, but he's the only obedient son. That was his qualification. So that can be everybody's qualification. Just be obedient to the commandment of the Lord. But the Christians couldn't do that, so they say, no, nobody can be, and they make Christ God. He's not God. He says, I sit at the right hand of God. I do the work of the Father. But there's obviously, there's two. There's the Father and the Son. So he was a good son, obedient son. But the result was people crucified him. The worldly people are threatened. They're threatened by this movement also. In the early days in America, there was so much what they call deprogrammers. They would come and steal their children who would join our movement. They called it a cult, dangerous cult. But then in the court it came, and it was established that no, this is a bona fide religion. Courts in New York, that's right. There's a bona fide religion. And it's true. It's a bona fide. It's eternal. We have Krishna saying, he spoke this to the Vivas 400 million years ago or something. So, this is a religion that's eternal. And the Vedas are like the direction. Just like if you buy a washing machine, you get a little book that tells you how to use it. So the Vedas are how to use this material world in such a way that we get the best benefit. And the best benefit is to go back to the spiritual world. But 99% of the people, right, they want to enjoy this world. Up to the point of death, they're attached to their family, to their tradition, to their country, to their nationality. I was reading in some review there, even Estonia, you know Estonia is here. They once had an empire. It spread into Finland and so on. I saw on the map. Not as big as the Russian empire. But everybody can think like that. Yes, make my country the center of the empire. Roman Empire, and Greek Empire. So we want Russian Empire, we want America. Everybody has that desire to make their country the greatest. So we have to avoid that mentality. We have to understand this is a temporary place and put Krishna in the center, then we have something substantial. That was Prabhupada's plan. He wanted to do something substantial in the world, to change the direction of the world. He was always thinking big. He wanted to meet the prime ministers and so on. He was a very bold preacher. Although he was the humblest person, he was very bold for preaching. But we should follow in that mood. And don't be afraid to tell people about Bhagavad Gita. Today we saw the Bhagavad Gita, right? Keep. This is practical work. If we can get people to read Bhagavad Gita and to understand it, then our job is, we should feel satisfied. Yes, today I did something substantial. I sold the Bhagavad Gita. So we have in this language also, right? Danish? So please, everybody, try to distribute. You'll find opportunities with that. close to that. Okay. Did I talk too much? It's also stated in Brahma Samhita 539. Ramadi Murti Sukala Yamena Tishan Nanavataram Akaroda Bhuvane Sukintu Krishnas Vayam Samabhavat Paramam Kumam Yo Govinda Maripurusham Taman Bhajami. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, Krishna, who is always situated in various incarnations, such as Rama, Nishinga, and many other sub-incarnations as well, but who is the original personality of Godhead, known as Krishna, who incarnates personally also. Okay, any questions so far? Any doubters out there? Come on. Another again, it's not me, I'm a Malecha, but we're just representing what Krishna is saying and what Prabhupada is saying. Therefore, we're ready to challenge the whole world. What is your conception of God? They have a hazy conception. God is great. Allah Akbar. How is he great? No, we can't talk about that. But even in the Quran it says that he's the most compassionate. So compassionate is a personal quality. So he's a compassionate person. Then tell me more about him. No, I've spoken to these people. They get angry. He's not a human being. We agree he's not a human being. God is not a human being. But he's still a person. A person only has compassion. Not a big tree or something. Or a big elephant. They may have a little compassion for their children. But anyway, the point is, we're looking for the supreme person. Why not? Prabhupada wants to talk to me like that. I was a little doubtful about the philosophy. He could kind of read my mind. He said, no, try to understand. You had a father, he had a father, he had a father. Who is the original father? So he was helping me understand that that's a good definition of God. He's the original father. He says in the Gita, I'm the father of all living entities. Christ also said, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. See, he knew that the name of the Father is holy. Hallowed be thy name. But what is that name? And even if they know the name, Allah or Jehovah or something, they don't know how to properly worship the name. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, you can say, benefit or benediction on us. He tells us just what the name is about. He gave us the Shikshastika, what he wrote personally. Wonderful descriptions of the Lord and how we should see him and why we take his name. I was speaking a little bit before about that before we had this ecstatic kirtan. That was ecstatic kirtan, right? Yeah. Where's our leader here? That's you? They look alike, They do look alike. Same beard, same hairstyle. So anyway, we want to go back to Godhead. This is our goal. Prabhupada's message was there, his magazine. Back home, back to Godhead. This is our original home. We can go there again. Which one is here? Okay, so I didn't finish. In the Vedas also it is stated that the Lord, although one without a second, manifests himself in innumerable forms. He is like the Madura stone, which changes color, it still remains one. All those multiforms are understood by the pure, unalloyed devotees, but not by simply study of the Vedas. You can read that, and I'm losing my focus on it. You're up here, the Vedas, but not by study.
Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhakteshu. Devotees like Arjuna are constant companions of the Lord. Whenever the Lord incarnates, the associate devotees also incarnate in order to serve the Lord in different capacities. Arjuna is one of these devotees, and in this verse it is understood that some millions of years ago, when Lord Krishna spoke of the Gita, the son god Vivasana, Arjuna in a different capacity was also present. But the difference between the Lord and Arjuna is that the Lord remembered the incident, whereas Arjuna could not remember. That is the difference between the part and parcel of the humanity and the Supreme Lord. Although Arjuna is addressed herein as the mighty hero who could subdue the enemies, he is unable to recall what had happened in his various past lives.
So this is the theology. The theology means everything is true. Everything we have to understand. We understand God, we understand the living entity, and we understand material nature, how that's working. But there's no subject that's not covered in real theology. No mysteries. Everything is clear.
Therefore, a living entity, however great he may be in the material estimation, can never equal to the Supreme Lord. Anyone who is a constant companion of the Lord is certainly a liberated person. But he cannot be equal to the Lord. The Lord is described in the Brahma Samhita as infallible, Achyuta, which means that he never forgets himself, even though he is in material quality. Therefore, the Lord and the living entity can never be equal in all respects.
But they are equal in equality. It's like the sun and the sunlight. They both have light and heat, but one is great and one is small. So we're like the small particle of God, and we don't have the same quantity as him. And therefore, because we're small, sometimes we become covered by the material energy, which is also God's energy. And that's what's happened to us. We're here in the material world, identifying with the body as ourself. But we're not the body. We're not the mind. We're not intelligence even. We're the soul who has a mind, who has intelligence, who has a body. But the soul is different. And this is the first teaching. I'm not this body. The second teaching is about God. What's his nature? Yes. He's not like us. He's a different category. We can't become God by meditation or by hopefulness. I was going to a yoga class before I became a devotee. The teacher was saying, "Be still. Know that you are God." And I was so stupid, I thought, well, maybe I'll try. So that's our position. We're in ignorance about real theology. If people say, God is love, that's half of philosophy. That's not real philosophy. Love is a verb. It means that there's two, the lover and the beloved. God is a loving person, yes, but not God is love. People say that. Have you ever met him? Or else, everything is God. Everything is God. Yeah, I'm God, you're God, everything is God. That's also not accurate. We want to come to scientific understanding. God is great, we're small. And material nature doesn't have consciousness. We're not matter because we have consciousness. When the soul leaves the body, the child may say, "Oh, my father is gone." What do you say he's gone? He's blinded. No, he's gone. Because the soul is left. The different soul and body.
Even if the living entity is as liberated as Arjuna. Although Arjuna is a devotee of the Lord, he sometimes forgets the nature of the Lord. But by the divine grace, a devotee can at once understand the infallible condition of the Lord. Whereas a non-devotee or a demon cannot understand his transcendental nature. Consequently, these descriptions in the Gita cannot be understood by a demoniac brain. Krishna remembered acts which were performed by him millions of years before, but Arjuna could not, despite the fact that both Krishna and Arjuna are eternal in nature. We may also note herein that a living entity forgets everything due to his change of body, but the Lord remembers him because he does not change his Sachidanand body. He is Advaita, which means there is no distinction between his body and himself. Everything in relation to him is spirit, whereas the conditioned soul is different from his material body. And because the Lord's body and self are identical, his position is always different from that of the ordinary unique entity, even when he descends to the material platform. The demons cannot adjust themselves to this transcendental nature of the Lord, which the Lord himself explains in the following words.
The Bhagavad Gita is very clear. Through every chapter, Krishna is saying he is the Supreme Person, you should surrender as a Buddhist. But the Mayavadis, they take Bhagavad Gita and they twist it. I personally saw that Prabhupada was disturbed by this. He said, why don't they write their own book? Why do they take Krishna's book and twist Krishna out of it? Remove Krishna from the Gita. That's what they do. It's just that they say it's not to Krishna you have to surrender, it's to the unborn within everyone. But that's not what Krishna is saying. They changed the message of it. So we don't like that. Write your own book is another thing. Why you twist Krishna's book? This is Krishna's book. And it's meant for the devotee. Why Arjuna was chosen? He was chosen, he said, Krishna said, because you're my friend and my devotee. Therefore, I'm letting you speak here, referring to Bhagavad Gita. This is the qualification for understanding Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, Arjuna wasn't a Brahmin, he wasn't a sannyasi. So he was a Kshatriya and a Grihastha. Doesn't mean he wasn't at the highest social level, but he was chosen. So we should become devotees, that's the purport. Devotees of Krishna. Then everything will come to us. So, anybody objecting? You finished the class. What time is it?
10 past 7.
Any questions? Nobody has a question. Everybody is cool.
You said like what is God, but how we can feel him? He is everywhere.
Yeah, that's a good question. How can we feel God? He's also in our heart as Paramatma. There's three features of God. There's the impersonal Brahmajyoti, which is a spiritual effulgence coming from the effulgence of the Lord. And then there's the localized feature of the Lord. He stays in the heart of every living entity when they come to the material world. So he can dictate to us. And the first sign that he's dictating, telling us, is when we connect with the devotees and we invite them to their house, like we saw. But this means that Krishna's communicating with you, and you're feeling him. So that's how you can feel him. He gives you insight, intuition, whatever, how you can please him. And so therefore, he takes more pleasure when we please his devotee than he does when we please himself. This is his Bhakta Vatsal. Krishna is very inclined to his devotees. He loves Uddhava more than himself. This is the nature of Krishna. He's the greatest, but one thing he's controlled by, love. How is it the greatest? The greatest comes under control. Yes. Even the greatest person comes under control. We read in the Krishna book how the elderly gopis, they're playing with baby Krishna. He's just 2 or 3 years old. They're clapping their hands, moving their heads like this. And Krishna is doing it. He's being controlled by them. So how is it possible? Because they love Krishna. So he agreed to be controlled. He becomes Arjuna's chariot driver. How can that be? We know in India, rickshawala is not a very high post. But Krishna agreed to be a chariot driver out of love for his devotee. So you associate with devotees, and then you'll see by their example and by their teaching that being a devotee is natural. It's not something artificial. Like offering of food. This is an important item. Sometimes they're called kitchen religion. Because we never eat anything that's not offered to Krishna. But it's not so difficult. Just instead of putting it right in your mouth, you just have a picture of Krishna, bow down, and say, please Krishna, accept this. Even a simple prayer like that. And then it becomes prasad. Of course, if you want to know more, we can, teach you prayer and everything. But it's a question of your heart. Bhakti is from the heart. What is your intention? If you want to please Krishna, then you're a devotee. And if you want to please him, he promises that I'll carry what you lack and I'll preserve what you have. As you surrender unto me, I'll reciprocate. So don't be in anxiety. Take another step to Krishna. Now you've taken a step. You invite the devotee to your house. Take another step and you'll see that Krishna reciprocates. Like I was a student at the university. And I noticed that when I came to the temple, I met the devotee. Then when I came from Mangalarti at 5 o'clock, 4:30, then I had a better day in school. So I thought, why don't I just move in the temple? So you go to Mangalarti every day. So I did that, and that was in 1968, I'm still there. So every day gets better. I did better in school. Did I stop smoking? Which I was a nasty habit. Quitting smoking is easy. I did it 30 times. Purport is it's not so easy. It's a big thing. But living with the devotees, it was easy. Because part of the smoking was just like a ritual. You take the cigarette out. Instead, I had my hands in a bead bag. So in every way, my health has improved, my future is bright, I feel happy. And I'm 82 years old. Most people my age, they're not dancing. The future is dark. What do they have? They can talk about their bad leg. So why not be a devotee, and then your future is always bright, because you're getting closer to Krishna. Offering your food to Krishna is a good idea. You should start doing that here in your house. Simple. The devotees will teach you how. Doesn't have to be a big ritual. Just you have to offer food, of course, that Krishna likes. It's a good first step. To offer your food. Yeah, anyone else? Comments, questions? No?
He would like to ask a question.
Yeah.
He will ask, maybe you could tell a small story of your experience of direct association with Srila Prabhupada.
I have a book with it.
У меня есть книга целая об этом.
But I can tell you, you want us to hear a story how...
This is the book which is...
But it's in English, he only knows it. He only knows Russian.
It will be soon out in Russian.
Скоро будет на русском.
Anyway, I can tell a story. You like a story where he chastised me or where he glorified me?
Хотите историю, где Шрила Прабхупада меня прославляет или где он меня ругает?
Какая вам по душе?
That you, as you like more. As you like it more.
Okay, I'll tell two.
Я вам расскажу.
One time, he appreciated me because can't remember that, right? He didn't appreciate me so much. But he did chastise me. I'll tell you once how he chastised me. I was a sannyasi and I was in India. And Gopal Krishna was, at that time, Gopal Krishna Maharaj was the chief of all of India. So he came to me in Mayapur festival and he said, Srila Prabhupada wants you to stay here in Mayapur and be co-director with Chakrataka because Bhavanan has to be. So actually it was an honor. I was being offered via Gopal Krishna from Prabhupada that I could be co-director of the biggest project in this country. But I didn't like it. I was thinking, first of all, you're not my GBC, Gopal Krishna. What are you telling me? Anyway, so I said, I'm not going to go. I already have a plan. So, then, in the afternoon, we had a darshan in Prabhupada's room. And Gopal Krishna was there, and I was there. So there was 30 people. It was about like how many people were there. And Gopal Krishna said, Srila Prabhupada, Chiragam Swami said he's not going to stay here in Mayapur. So I was in trouble. And then Prabhupada said, what is the difficulty? Why are you not understand? I said, well, Prabhupada, here in Mayapur, I don't speak Bengali, and it's difficult for me to preach. So he said, our formula is plain living, high thinking, but you're simply addicted to the city. Which is true. I think at that time, Mayapur was nothing. Just only people who came on the festival time. I said, what am I going to do here? And just out, way out here, Mayapur. So I accepted that. But then I didn't surrender. I still didn't. Then another argument where I gave, Prabhupada, I forget what I said. I said something about, I've been a sannyasi for 5 years and I've never preached in English. If I stay here, I won't be able to preach. I never preached because I was always in foreign countries. And then he said, oh, you've been a sannyasi for 5 years and you never had a chance to preach. What makes you think you know how to preach? So, that was good. I stayed in Mayapur for 6 months, and Bhavana came back. I went to another side. I learned a lot. Okay, then one time he appreciated me. When I told him, he was giving class and he was saying how the spiritual master is a representative of Krishna. I'm trying to touch on this. And I said, it had a big impression on me with the evening class. And I thought, Prabhupada is sitting right in front of me, but he's really a representative of Krishna. I kind of had a mystical experience that Prabhupada was not an ordinary man. So the next day I went to give a massage and I told Prabhupada, but I very much liked your class last night. So I said, oh, what part did you like? So I told him, I said, I liked the part that you said you were the representative of Krishna. The Prabhupada liked that, accepted it. And turned it around. You also can be representative. When you say, Prabhupada said or Krishna said, then you're also representative. So Prabhupada liked that question and he encouraged us. Same thing I'm saying, everybody can become Guru, it's not so hard. Just represent the message of Krishna. Read Bhagavad Gita, understand the principles, learn a few verses, it's not very difficult. Then you can preach and nobody can defeat you. If you like that feeling of conquest. But you don't have to. Just humbly present it. Like if we're asking a question, what's your idea? I'm ready to go to the mosque and speak. I don't think they'll like me, but we're ready to speak to anybody. But we did the other side is, which is the ninth offense, right? Don't preach the faith. So we don't try to force. Like this boy was here tonight. I saw immediately this boy just doesn't belong here.
I talked to him just before he left. He was a Jewish boy, and he said, I just love you guys so much, but I can't go in and stay with you because my religion is Jewish. So I said, that's just a coding you have, like from your parents or something. And he gave me like, I felt that he was so heartfelt. And
That's why it's the ninth offensive. Don't preach it. Okay, you become a better Jew. Don't fool our marriage. Okay, so that's the 2 stories I told?
Prabhu, how about like us, right? Married people with kids, that we have our own kind of...
Brahman was married. Dr. Vinod had so many children. How many? 10. We're not against marriage, and we're not against having children.
So I wanted to like ask is what we can do to kind of, in this busy life, what would be the simplest things we can do to...
Yeah, like I mentioned, offer your food to Krishna. It's simple. And then you can chant this mantra. It's very simple. Only 2 words, 3 words. Hare Krishna Rama. Learn this mantra. Is it so difficult? Let's hear it.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Lord Chaitanya has made it very simple. You don't have to go to the Himalayas. You don't have to leave your family. Just put Krishna in the center. Keep a picture of Krishna. And sit together and chant. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopal Jai. It's in your blood. You can do it. It's harder for the Westerners. But they've done it. See the importance? For you people from India, it's not difficult. Once you get the hang of it, it's very simple. To chant Hare Krishna, offer your food to Krishna. You can do even those 2 things. Then Krishna will give you more intelligence, how to proceed. Devotees will help you more. They'll see that you're a little sincere. That's what we're looking for. For sincerity. That's the only thing that's required. You sincerely want to please Krishna. And you don't have to change your position. From your position, he'll give you the intelligence how you can make the next step. Is that right? Any other? Make your family devotees. You can. In other words, you have children, then try to get them to understand the difference between ordinary food and prasadam. Try to get them to understand the importance of chanting this mantra instead of saying some other thing, mantra, which won't give you satisfaction. Everybody's vibrating some sound. So we're saying just vibrate this sound and you'll see the difference. It's not like saying Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. No, Hare Krishna has a different effect on you. You know? So okay, we'll stop here then. So why do we need a key?
So I have a short announcement to make. So if you enjoy the stories, Maharaj have taken time and put his interaction with Srila Prabhupada in a book called Priceless Moments with a Pure Devotee. So in India, when Prabhupada used to travel, people usually have a conception that a saintly person should do some magic, should show some magic. So they will, if you can disappear or make something appear. So Prabhupada said that, well, that's not the conception of a holy person. And Prabhupada was different. Why? Because Prabhupada changed the habits of people. In India, if you ask someone to leave a tea, the generations will shake. How can we leave the tea? We cannot wake up, you know. We can't get proper start of the day. But Prabhupada said, if you want to see the magic, look at my disciples. They were hippies. The hippies by definition means so yeah, that's
you know better than me. So that's what Prabhupada said. In that conversation that you just quoted, Prabhupada said, something extraordinary. Then everybody laughed. Then Prabhupada said to him, you know better than me. What is it?
So what Srila Prabhupada did, the people who are accustomed to meat eating, intoxication, gambling,
I forgot the most prominent one.
and illicit sex. So Srila Prabhupada changed their habits, and to change the habit is the real magic. So Srila Prabhupada was not a person who just spoke a big philosophy, but he went to Bowery Street, which is a place where even today you don't want to go. And he went there, an old man, and he changed the full world. And that's what Bhagavad Gita teaches. If you study Bhagavad Gita, which means you surrender to God, then you can glorify God. And the result will be that people who will link with you will also become devotee. So that's, we have a live example of this. Right? Maharaj is 82 years old and still have taste for chanting and dancing. Why? Because this is a bona fide movement. It's not started by some Hindu guru or someone who just want to come to America to make money and just get his name. So that's why if you want to read more how it was to live with Prabhupada, with the legend, please purchase these books. They are there. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you. Also, we have, like we saw the Bhagavad Gita today, we're very happy. So Prabhupada's books, please take them also. See, whatever you want to make him happy.
How much is it? What's the price?
Yeah, 100 crore.
100 krona. That's cheap. That's not
Oh, this is, we have your own currency here.
Yeah, they
That's
have.
krona.
Yes.
No, it's not a European.
Everyone can afford that.
Yeah, so I have, I think, book for everyone in the room. I think. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hey.
Is it offered on the book? Is it prasadam on book? He's asking.
Prasadam, you came, it's offered, or what we wrote is prasadam. Yeah. Should we offer now?
Is it offered?
Yes. But what you cooked is also?
Yeah, no,
we will offer now.
we will offer now. What is it? Eat and
Most people
We'll find it.
Who else is buying? Angelina, there's two free over here.
And maybe Maharaj can sign. Maybe Maharaj can sign the book and we will check it.
Maharaj can sign all the books.
My Myanmar is the first. I have to write number one. I want to be number one.
From my pen. Do you have a pen? I do have it.
Yeah, go ahead.
वो जो ऑफर है ना तो उसको उधर रख लेते हैं.
So devotees, please come with the books and Maharaj will sign for you.
If you don't have cash, you can send it's Temple's mobile pay. You just write. I hear that could be a right book. I know it's just write book and 100 krona.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
And this is also garam.
This is also garam.
make an announcement before Prasadam. Dear devotees, tomorrow Maharaj will stay for 2 more days. So this you can come tomorrow for morning class or Harina, 2 o'clock here. Always be there. And then, of course, Sunday you can come for morning class and on the program. And of course, all of those volunteers who would like to distribute prasadam can come kitchen
Evening class tomorrow.
So it's like Gorati and then class tomorrow.
And everyone get a book.
और ये दाल
Do I need tile? Der er mange, der kalder mig Martin. Ej, det kan jeg være ikke ud. Så ved jeg, fra Tysk, kalder mig Martin. Mikkel. Men jeg er også forvirret med, folk har fået deres navn nummer 2.
Yes, I want to take this on another page.
Det er Jakob.
Okay.
So you can, Matthews can sit at this line and Prabhu's can sit at this line. Please come.
Mommy, this one open for me.
Sugar, yeah, let's put this one.
You want this one back in the kitchen after I transfer?
It's not selling like this.
Prabhu is here. Mother is there. Back. This is
I can understand.
There's really room like this.
Okay, go with it.
दोनों चीजें आप नहीं अब शुरू हो रहा है ना ठीक है अब गरम छोड़िए अब 2 मिनट
गोदी नहीं करते बेबी अच्छा बेबी चलो बेबी की बात चलो बेबी को गोदी करेंगे दोनों बेबी को गोदी करेंगे बेबी है स्टॉपी लेकिन सिर्फ ये स्पीकर है एंटी उसके बाद
आपको कांटेक्ट लेना पड़ेगा
मनीषा सब्जी का सब्जी चालू करो गरम पानी चाहिए
Oscar, bro, can you Manisha, Baroda में दे दे Manisha
आप वहाँ पे स्कॉन में हैं फिर आप